amazing run. Oh, my brain! Goodness me. Oh, are you serious?
I was working at Transworld Skateboarding Magazine as the photo editor and senior photographer. I was so stoked that I was able to shoot the chin ramp. And it was just for the moment, just to get it in the magazine. You know, I thought, oh, I'll have a big spread in the magazine, you know. And you never thought 30 years down the road what it would mean. When I shot the invert photo, I knew it was going to be the grand finale. I didn't know 30 years ahead that it would be the grand finale again, you know.
Grant, ready?
I'm ready.
Good evening. Tonight's top story, legendary skater Wonton Animal Chin has been reported missing by friends and relatives.
How do I sum up the search for Animal Chin?
What is it? It's a secret. If you don't know, then you don't know.
Well, the search for Animal Chin was a skateboard video that we made in, I think, 1986.
There are some guys, they ride skateboards. There's a whole bunch of them, and they're pretty good. Stevie and Lance and McGill and Tony and myself and Chin.
Really looking for this Chin guy, man. You seen him?
You know, the guy is very underground, as you know.
That guy's hardcore, man. He's gonna be way underground. You
seen him?
Chin is just like a mythical person to represent fun and enjoyment of skateboarding. It's been 30 years, we're still searching for him on a daily basis.
When we did our very first video, the Bones Brigade video show, and we released it in 1984, we never expected that it was going to be successful because we didn't realize that by that time, 70% of America was going to have VCRs. So we thought it would play in skateboard shops, but it ended up selling to kids to play in their living rooms. And we realized, well, God, maybe we should do something more.
It was a skate film that told a story. You know, nobody did that before.
Yeah, Cornelia.
When we were skating, it was pretty straightforward, but it was more in the acting segments where things started to go sour in terms of our cooperation.
Okay, we're shooting.
No way. Wait, cut.
One thing that I was aware of, having been a pro skater, is too often when you put the camera on a 17-year-old kid, they don't know what else to do, and so they do something outlandish. I wanted them to just be as natural as they could, and if it erred on the side of being too wholesome, so what?
Check this out. Unreal. He got his own milk carton. That's the guy.
Oh, my friends just gave me lots of grief about it, especially acting.
It was very spontaneous at times. We just try to make light of it and just joke around. So there was a lot of joking off the camera as well. That's the way we got through it.
There were parts of our personality that was mixed in, but a lot of times we were just uncomfortable because it was like, why do we have to say these lines? We don't understand.
Hey, would you guys hurry up, man? We're gonna miss Johnny Rad's gig. You guys are gelling.
But also it was an opportunity to showcase our skating, so that is always the priority for us.
You can even do that, twin.
We don't ever, as a skateboard company, want to tell skateboarders that you need to be a vertical skateboarder or a freestyler or a street skater. We wanted to show the whole variety and say, pick and choose what you want. And that's why we wanted to show Tony Hawk, even though he wasn't a street skater, we wanted to show him skating in streets and show him skating on ramps and jump ramps and all that stuff to show that it's not defined, and don't let it be defined.
This film showed everything.
No way! Check that out!
Maneuvers, personalities, the idea behind skateboarding and the purpose of it.
South. South. Which way south? Yeah. Which way south? South is that. No way.
But it was spotlighting the ramp at the end.
That's too big. Is that it? No way, dude. That has to be it. Go.
It was like, what about this just doing something that would just be like visually impressive?
The size of it. None of us have ever skated ramps like that.
This was a ramp they dreamed of. They dreamed it up. They got to build transitions exactly how they wanted it. They had the greatest ramp builder in the world at that time, Tim Payne, building it. So it was like having Santa Claus make you the ultimate toy.
Obviously, the end of the film is supposed to be the apex of what we're searching for. I guess the irony is that the chin ramp was kind of the most serious of them all, because that was the one where we actually were working at it. You know, we spent 4 non-stop days trying to get footage there.
For its time, the chin ramp was the best possible ramp you could ever skate.
There were all these features on it.
Well, look at all these things, you know, extensions, channels, the spine.
I mean, instantly I was like, okay, spine was a terrible idea. But it had things to try.
The chin ramp became kind of a laboratory. So it really gave those guys a chance to unlock their creativity and their imaginations.
We skated the ramp for 3 or 4 days. That was it. We had to go right on tour. Came back 2 weeks later. It was gone. The whole ramp was gone.
Stacy was very adamant about that ramp getting torn down. To see that much wood, you know, go to waste was just like a cardinal sin to us.
It was a conscious decision. It'd be for this thing and this thing only. I mean, there was talks about burning it down. And then we're like, oh no, leaving it like just no one knew would be better.
I understood the sense of exclusivity for the video, that it would be this crazy thing that we all got to skate and then no one else got to try it. And so it was like there was this mythological element to it. And there has been. I mean, for 30 years, no one has rebuilt that ramp, which is shocking to me.
One of the biggest disappointments in my life was seeing that thing gone.
I mean, look, believe it or not, where the ramp was built, it was built in an area that looked like it's in the middle of nowhere. It felt like that. And the day we were about to shoot, I looked down the road and there's a car coming. Car pulls up, this middle-aged man gets out and he's furious. And he's stunned by what he's seeing. It's like you're looking at a man that's, for all intents and purposes, is looking at a spaceship that's just landed on his property. He's never seen anything like it. He doesn't know what it is, and it's the size of a big house. And he can't believe that this has happened. I convinced the guy that we're making a film for at-risk youth, and that these are the best skateboarders in the world. We need just 1 week to shoot this and we'll be out of here. And he goes, no, you can't do this, but I'll give you 3 days. He goes, you got 3 days, do your thing, but you have to be out of here. We got our 3 days in. The guys skated remarkably well. We shot hours and hours of tape. And then when it was done, we had to rip the ramp down, and it was like it never happened. And I actually like the fact that it's not there anymore, because it vanished like a great dream. It just vanished.
Tony sent out a group text, said, hey, I have this idea that we want to do. We want to recreate the invert shot on the chin ramp. When it got to the point of what this was truly going to be, it's pretty wild. The chin ramp was the apex of the film. It's extremely iconic. It's this huge beast of a ramp.
We skated the ramp for 3 or 4 days. Came back 2 weeks later, it was gone. One of the biggest disappointments in my life was seeing that thing gone.
We have only gotten together to talk about Bones Brigade days. We have never gotten together since, really, like Animal Chin to skate together.
I'm trying to remember the lines. That looks hard still.
I mean, some of the Bones Brigade tours we did, we skated together, but it's been a good 25 years since we've all actually been in one place with the intent of skating.
Tony sent out a group text, said, hey, I have this idea that we want to do. We want to recreate the invert shot on the chin ramp. It took on a life of its own in that sense. It just started snowballing. And when it got to the point of what this was truly going to be, it's pretty wild.
I really wanted to rebuild the ramp somehow, somewhere, and thought it's going to be expensive, and if we're going to make it, we should put it somewhere where it could be the permanent structure for other people to ride. And my wife said, why don't you ask Woodward? They might be interested in that. And I said, oh yeah, it's a good idea. They hired Tim Payne, the original chin ramp builder, to recreate the ramp. And I can't believe it's a reality. I can't. Oh, wow. It's real. What? The whole idea that we're going to do a 30-year celebration anniversary is awesome, and that's something that I would have looked forward to anyway. The idea that we're doing it on the chin ramp is unbelievable to me. That we've all come this far, that we're still skating, and there's enough interest in this little video we did 30 years ago.
Wow. That's cool.
Wow, that's amazing.
Skating the ramp now, 30 years later, I have all of the above. I have apprehension, I have fear, I have happiness. Bringing it back, baby. You're not gonna do what you did or maybe feel the same way, but you know, we still got some skills. I mean, hopefully.
Oh! Well, it's pretty surreal to actually be skating the chin ramp again. It's pretty cool. Kind of remember it being a lot bigger.
I don't know where to start. It feels awesome. It's overwhelming. It's more unbelievable, really. It's unbelievable that this is how it was laid out.
Not skating anything this big for so long, and then figuring out now I got up here, and I'm like, how am I getting down?
That was a really good one. It's kind of remarkable that they're doing this.
Steve, try that Smith grind.
30 years later, these guys are doing their famous, 4 invert shot, and it's being photographed by the great skateboard photographer Grant Britton. And they're now in their late 40s, early 50s.
Melded into your head.
Back then, there was no pressure. I think there's a lot more emphasis and pressure put on it because this whole ramp was built just for the photo. I have faith.
Can we just try?
Grant, ready?
I'm ready.
This is it. You got it. One take, Jake.
1, 2, 3.
Knock it up.
Oh! Check that. It's amazing. That's totally amazing.
Once that shot was over, they could just relax and have fun. And skate together like they did 30 years ago.
Yeah, Lance. They've been skating, I don't know, what time is it? 3 hours? They just start trying gnarlier tricks. And I start getting worried because they've been skating for 3 hours in like 90-degree weather.
It's so fun to see those guys really trying like the hard stuff that we did back then. I'm tired, but I'm still excited, and I don't want to be the first one to quit, so I'm still walking back up that ladder.
The Advil's kicking in.
I think what's happening right now is these guys, they're embodying the spirit of Animal Chin.
Too sick.
There's always been this thing in the back of our mind, like, what if other people skated the chin ramp? What would they have done?
Oh my God.
I didn't know that that ramp ever had plans to go anywhere. I thought that it was supposed to be exclusive for the video and it was going to be torn apart, and that was the end of it. Half of the pros then lived in Southern California and would have wanted to skate the ramp if they had known anything about it. They probably would have snuck in to ride it.
There's always been this thing in the back of our mind, like, what if other people skated the chin ramp? What would they have done? Now that it's built again, now that it's there, see what can happen.
I wanted this to be a celebration of skating as much as anything, not just the Bones Brigade. So I invited a few people that I thought would really take to the ramp and also give a good sense of history. Christian Osoy's coming up, Kevin Staub's coming.
Dude, it's the most awesome thing. It's like the 80s are live right now. Today is surreal. Like, what else do I say?
And then I invited some new guys too.
It's great to see Lizzie there, and Tom Shaw, and Clay Kreiner. I mean, those guys were shredding. And Bucky Lassick riding with us too.
I do think Bucky's gonna definitely pull something out.
That's scary.
I feel like Bucky is the one that bridges the gap from our generation to the new generation, because he was skating back then and now he's still killing it. It's gonna be a great way to see all the eras of skating come into play.
I was really excited to see Hosoy there because he had never skated the chin ramp, and he's great on ramps. I love his style, his power.
Guys from today, they'll ride smaller ramps like that, like a mini ramp.
That's not a mini ramp. That is not. Dude. NBD.
Wow. That's it. That brings all the worlds together right there. This is the session that we had hoped for, like a really good mix of old school and new school. And the only reference we have is 30 years ago. And we haven't seen anyone new use it to its fullest extent, and now we're seeing it. It's awesome.
I'm in awe, honestly, because the animal chin ramp is something that I've always dreamed of skating. And to actually be able to check it off the bucket list that I never thought I was going to check off. I'm very interested to see, now that this is a permanent structure here at Woodward, I'm sure my mind is going to be blown over the tricks that are going to be done on this ramp. I feel like a lot of people in the future are going to find animal chin.
I was thinking about today, I remember walking behind the ramp. Mike was going up the ladder, Lance was coming around the other side, and I remember thinking, this will never happen again. Obviously, we're all still skating, but 10 years from now, this wouldn't even happen. So I feel like this was such a great moment in time, and it was meant to be. I feel like we all still feed off each other. It's this amazing combination that still exists 30 years later.
Just amazing to skate with all these guys again. It just feels like we're filming Chin all over again.
It's been a long time coming. Somebody's gonna have to pinch us in a little bit to say, you know, you guys really just did this.
We are the same as we were kids. We have all the same characteristics in different ways. The real characteristic is there. It makes it that much better.
What is remarkable is we did create this kind of dream in the skateboarding video. And so many people latched onto the imaginary aspects of it that we were allowed to live that dream a second time 30 years later. Except now, these guys, they love each other. They've all survived. They all have families. It's proof that the spirit of Animal Chin is alive.
We're gonna hit the hyperspace button.
At the end of the day, it's all about having fun. That's what it's about.